What's going on, bodybuilding fans? In this video, I'll be giving you my top 6 predictions for the men's open bodybuilding at the Texas Pro this August 14th, 2021 in Irving, Texas. Since there's only 10 competitors at this show, I think it's a lot easier to predict the top 6 versus the previous weeks where you had 14, 15 plus competitors. And again, I'll be going over just the top 6. So Philip Klahar, Mohamed Elem, Dorian Haywood, Steve Kuclow, Hassan Mostafa, and Valiere. In 6th place, I have Dorian Haywood. Dorian is coming off of an 8th place finish in Tampa last week. He's been competing a lot this year. He has pretty good conditioning from the rear. If you look at his lower back, glutes, and hams. From the front, not as conditioned, but I do love the way he hits his side chest. I think he's hitting a proper side chest. I think he's going to be bringing a decent enough package in order to take top 6 at the Texas Pro. In 5th place, I have Mohamed Elem. Mohamed is another bodybuilder who's been competing a lot this year. He took a 9th last week in the Tampa Pro. He didn't really look too good last week, but if you look at his Instagram page, his conditioning looks a lot better. He looks a lot harder and drier from the rear. So I think he will be bringing a better package than he did last week. And I think he'll be good enough to take top 5. He is tied with Hassan Mostafa for 2nd place in the Olympia qualification series with 15 points. In 4th place, I have Hassan Mostafa. Hassan has been competing a lot this year as well. He took 6th place a few weeks ago in Chicago, and he has a bunch of 3rd place finishes as well. He is tied, like I said, with Mohamed Elem for 2nd place in the qualification series with 15 points. And I think he will probably be looking better than he did in Chicago, and I think it'll be enough to take 4th place in Texas. In 3rd place, I have Philip Klahar. Philip came out of nowhere last week to take 2nd in Tampa, 2nd to Ian. He had the best back in the show. Look at the conditioning, hardness, lower back, hams, glutes, and good conditioning from the front as well. I still think that even though he gave Ian a run for his money last week, I still think that Ian was going to be placing higher than him in Texas, and the best that Philip would do is 3rd place. In 2nd place, I have Valiere. Ian is coming off a great win last week in Tampa. He has a lot of momentum going into this show. However, he is going up against Steve Kuclow, who hasn't competed since the 2020 Arnold Classic. And I think that that's a disadvantage for Ian because Ian had to peak for this show. I'm not sure if he can maintain that same conditioning or maybe even improve it in 1 week. But I still think that if you compare Steve to Ian, I think Steve has superior structure, superior shape, and a lot of better body parts than Ian has. In 1st place, I have Steve Kuclow. Steve hasn't competed since the 2020 Arnold Classic last March, so he had a lot of time to put on some size where he had to, make some improvements. I don't think he has any weak body parts. He's a wide guy, wide shoulders. He's probably going to be the biggest guy on stage. And the only issue for him is if he can come in grainy hard conditioning, which sometimes maybe he hasn't. But if you look at his Instagram photos, he looks like he's going to be bringing that grainy hard look. And we'll see if he can take the show and go back to the Olympia this year, which I think he will. So anyway, thanks again for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.